Hello learners, today's our lecture is on role of cloud computing and IoT in supply chain management. So this topic is the unit 5 of MMPL 004 supply chain technology and information systems. So in this we will learn about what is cloud computing, how it will be used in the supply chain management, and IoT, Internet of Things, and its role in the supply chain management and its effectiveness, how to improve the supply chain efficiency. So here we will learn about, first of all, we will learn about what is supply chain management and how the technologies will be effectively utilized in the supply chain management. So what is supply chain management? In the supply chain management, there are various players are involved in producing the goods, or you can say that transforming the materials, transforming the raw materials into finished goods. So during that process, there are procuring of materials and then producing the finished goods. So the suppliers, then suppliers, then manufacturers, then storing and warehousing partners, and as well as transporting partners also involved. So once procured the material, then it will be transformed into finished goods and it has to be reached to the customers, ultimate customers. So there are various players involved and various activities are involved, so that the materials has to be produced according to the customer requirements. So customers, the demand raises from the right end. So from the customers, once the demand comes, immediately the demand has to be known to every player in the supply chain process. So so how it will be known to every one person? So where the technology plays a vital role. So due to the technology only, once a customer places order, regarding that product, how many parts or how many, you can say that, for example, we are going to manufacture a computer. So computer having, for example, 10 parts. So 10 components, so that various components are there, so that the components will be produced by various suppliers. So from there, the manufacturer or assembler has to procure those materials. So for that, information has to be reached to the suppliers as well as manufacturers, and then to the wherever the material. So storing, once the goods are produced, then it has to move to the customers. So that efficiency has to be improved, where the technology plays vital role in improving the efficiency of supply chain process by providing various technological advantages. So this is about the supply chain management. In the supply chain management, then how this technology nowadays, the rapidly changing environment in the information technology, in evolving landscape of technologies in transforming the way businesses manage their supply chains, cloud computing and Internet of Things have emerged as a game changers, providing supply chain managers with powerful tools to improve efficiency, reduce cost, and enhance decision making. So these are the important, nowadays various technologies like RFID or IoTs, and various technologies are coming up in a big way. By using these technologies, the supply chain managers can take the decision so that their supply chain efficiency can be improved. So with this, this is about the introduction of supply chain management, and I am Professor N. Venkateshwarlu from School of Engineering and Technology. I am the coordinator of this MBA Logistics and Supply Chain Management, and along with me, the eminent expert, Dr. Murali, is my colleague also, and he is working as Director of Computer Division, Indira Gandhi National Open University, and he received PhD in Computer Science, Systems and Network Security from Central University of Hyderabad, and MTech Computer Science from the Jawaharlal Nehru Technological University, Hyderabad, and BTech from Computer Science Engineering from Nagarjuna University, Andhra Pradesh. And Dr. Rao has over 30 years of professional experience in the field of information and communication technologies. He has proficiency in design, development, and management of integrated software systems in a networked environment. He executed various projects in commissioning of modern computing and network systems at various organizations where he worked. And as a researcher, Dr. Rao is working in the area of system and network security, cloud computing and virtualization, and emerging educational technologies. Many of his research papers have been published in IEEE Computer Science, ACM, Scientific Journal of Education Technology, and others. And he also sharing national and international conference diocese as a session chair and keynote speaker, and also presented several research papers. So, Murali, I will thank you for coming to our session, and thank you very much. And agreeing, once I asked you at one time only, he agreed, and he came here. And thank you very much. And now we will start our session on supply chain management. So, Murali, I'll ask you. You are the expert of the computer science. So, how the technology is beneficial for effective supply chain management?
First of all, thank you, Professor Venkat, for inviting me to this session.
Yeah.
And also it is an opportunity to share some of my thoughts also in the field of supply chain management by using technology.
Yeah.
See, before talking the rollout technology in supply chain management, just we had to go bit beyond.
Yeah.
So the supply chain management, say SCM, we call it as a SCM.
Yeah.
Before technology, before use of technology, it means that more or less of a manual processes.
Right.
Generally, whenever we talk about supply chain management, whether using technology or not using technology, there is a supply chain management life cycle is there.
Yeah.
Even though there are so many processes are involved, but significant processes like the planning, then procure, we call it as a resource, and then manufacture, call it as a make, and then logistics, that's a deliver, and after that return. These are the 5 core processes in a supply chain management, whether we are using a technology or not using a technology. But when we talk about the SCM, that is supply chain management, prior to use of technology, because of so many processes manually, there is a delay. There is a, there is risk management also, because not able to predict exactly what is the demand, how much the demand, because, lot of dependency on, that human resource also, because lack of human resource. When it is a small in scale, there's no problem at all. But when we talk about supply chain management, it is a large scale, where thousands of customers are there, thousands or lakhs of products to be delivered of different nature. In such case, manual operations is very, very difficult. Of course, it's not, we can't say it's difficult, but it was achieved till a decade before. What is there? Everything done without technology also. The best example without technology for a supply chain management is the Dabba Wala. In say Bombay, that is mainly for delivering of what is the lunch boxes, taking lunch boxes from the households and taking and delivering to the employees wherever they are working, and again after that again the taking back and sending back to homes. This is also more or less a good example for supply chain management if they without use of technology. Of course, there are successes also there, but there are so many limitations also there. Now come about the technology advantages or the role of technology in SCM. Definitely there is a lot of improvement in terms of quality, in terms of efficiency, in terms of security, transparency, whatever we call in the life cycle of supply chain management. So everything is more efficient. Okay. So when we talk about technology, then we have to talk about SCM, that supply chain management in a modern age. The manual process before modern age. When we talk about technology, we have to talk about the supply chain management in modern age.
Yeah.
In a modern age, in supply chain management, there are two verticals. Concentrates. One is that the technology driven. The SCM, whatever we call the 5 critical processes in SCM. So all the processes to be used or performed using technology. That's why one vertical in modern age of the supply chain management, one is technology driven. Second is that customer centric. These are the two things, keep it in mind, whether we are using technology or non-technology, but these are two things. Ultimately, the customer satisfaction is the more important. So, in a modern age, or in a modern age of the supply chain technology, supply chain management, so one is it is a technology-driven, technology to be used in all 5 processes of the supply chain management. Starts from planning to return. Okay? Planning, procure, then manufacture, then deliver. That is the logistics, and then return also. Okay? Sometimes not every time, but sometimes. Okay, and then another is that the customer centric. When it is a customer centric, customer satisfaction comes into the picture. Correct? See, any product or any organization will survive or consistent or continuity depends on the customer satisfaction of that particular product. Correct? Customer satisfaction, I think we are all also customer for many other things. Correct? So, customer satisfaction comes that the product should have a quality, what expected, should be delivered on time, and is economic, and some kind of a maintenance also. So, these are all some core parameters when talk about the customer satisfaction. So, the technology, when you use in technology, well, it is being used. The technology being used in all 5 processes of supply chain management. And I think we are all experienced about some kind of e-commerce sites like Amazon or maybe Flipkart or maybe Myntra or so many other are there. Okay, that fully using of technology. Of course, mainly it is at a logistics part. The technology mainly used at a logistics part of the 5 phases of 5 phases in a supply chain management. So when you talk about technology being used for supply chain, it starts from, say, as already in a open remarks, you already emphasized that cloud computing, correct? And then IoT, Internet of Things, and then even the automation. Nowadays, AI, the artificial intelligence and machine learning is also coming rapidly. So to find more insights for that, and automation and also in the digital twins. So these are all some of the prominent technology being used in supply chain management for effective delivery of a product to reach to the customer, from journey of product to reach to the customer. If a customer, whatever way, if it is he or she rejected, it has to come back to the source. So I think, I hope my answer suits you. I hope so.
It's really very good. So because all the processes, so that manually it was running manually. So for that, why the technology has taken? Because competition has increasing. In the competition, whoever brings the technology or adopts the technology first, and they will become the competitor to other companies. So that is the way most of the companies are going for adopting the technologies. So Murali, another question I'll ask you, that how cloud computing is helpful in SCM effectiveness.
Thank you.
And also explain about what is actually cloud computing and how it can be utilized in the supply chain process.
Sure. Yeah, it's also a right question. When you talk about technology usage in the supply chain management in modern age. Yeah. So in modern age, as I told you for answer to your previous question, one is it is a technology driven and then customer centric. Correct? When we talk about the cloud computing, assume that see, when it is a technology driven, which is the fuel of the ultimate customer satisfaction, the data.
Yeah.
Why the supply chain management has so many limitations or issues without using technology in earlier days?
Yeah.
Because there is no real-time data available.
Yeah.
Start from planning and to procure to manufacture to deliver and return. Because even though the data is available, but it is not accurate. That's why it is not, the organizations are unable to meet the in-time or on-time delivery of the product when without using the supply chain management, without using of technology. But in a modern age, since it is a technology driven, the data is the core element, the fuel in the entire life cycle of the supply chain management. So data, because it is a volume. In such case, the data, but data alone cannot do anything. Suppose a huge volume of megabytes or gigabytes, terabytes of data is available, particular to a certain product of supply chain management. What an organization will do? No. So the data to be analyzed in a different ways to inform of some kind of analytics. From analytics, then some kind of intelligence comes there, so that intelligence can be used for effective supply chain management. So when you talk about the cloud computing, because data plays a vital role. So for that, which requires high-end computing devices are required, huge volume of storage is required, some good amount of network is required, bandwidth is required. So these are all the things essentially required to process the data. Correct? To get a analytics. So for that, one way is that the organization can procure and set up a data center and do the things. But it is a very Herculean task, because a huge amount to be invested to establish a data center. Not only establishment, then maintenance is to be done. Skilled technical people are required. Workforce is required. That's why it's very, very difficult. That's why the cloud computing is the immediately available model for organizations which are going to use technology in their supply chain management. See, for example, I will tell you that in a cloud computing, so cloud computing is nothing but, for a layman language, I will say that cloud computing is nothing but hiring a taxi instead of buying a taxi. For example, you want to go somewhere from here to say somewhere you have to go. For example, you have to travel 20 kilometers, 30 or 40, whatever it is there. One is that you need a taxi or you need a car. So one is that you have to own the car, or otherwise you have to hire the car. So if you have owned the car, either you have to drive or otherwise you have to hire a driver. Correct? And for buying a car also you have to put a so huge investment also. Correct? Instead of that, so paying for my basic needs, I will pay maybe 1,000 rupees or 2,000 or 5,000, whatever, depending on my luxuriness something. So I will hire a taxi. So I am nowhere connected to that. But my purpose will be served. So the cloud computing is also of such a model. Correct? So that's why most of the organizations, because it is readily available. It's a proven approach, proven model, so that no need any organization can establish this kind of data centers. Okay. So in a cloud computing, when you talk about cloud computing, as I told you that cloud computing is nothing but hiring of IT resources. Such as a computing resource like a servers, storage, and even a software, and maybe some kind of a network and network bandwidth also, so that on demand. Another advantage of cloud is that you can scale also. For example, see, on demand resource can be freezed. For example, if you expect that demand is more, immediately you can demand for a more computing resources. Suppose sometimes, see, generally supply chain management, suppose certain products are mostly seasonal. Assume that certain seasons, suppose certain seasons, the demand is more. Certain other seasons, demand is less. That time, when demand comes more, then you can increase more computing resources. Only you have to pay for that only for that period only. Whenever in a half period, you need not require that much of computing resources, then you can reduce. Then your operational costs also will be reduced. If your operational production cost is reduced, the product cost is also will be reduced. How many ultimately the customer going to get benefit out of it? Correct?
Right.
And precisely, just I'm telling that anyway. I don't want to touch too much technical. So when we talk about cloud, depending on the deployment models, the cloud, we can call it as in a deployment models. One is a public cloud, private cloud, and maybe we can say multi-cloud. These are all, we can say that. Suppose the public cloud means that a huge computing resources are available. So your business data or systems also you can it is not exclusively for you. There are multiple people are there, and it is a common pool, but they will allocate separately. That is, we call it as a public cloud. Now, but there are merits and limitations. Generally, public cloud is a bit cheaper than private cloud. Why? Because it is you are one among one among the customers.
Right.
Correct. But second is that a private cloud. Suppose if you feel that you need a exclusiveness for your organization business processes, better you can have a private cloud. Same cloud only, but thing is that they will dedicate the exclusive resources for you. No one else part of that data center. There is a private cloud. But again, it is a bit costly. Suppose it's just an example. If you hire a taxi for 3 members, 3 members will go in a one taxi. Suppose if you need an exclusive taxi for you alone, so you have to know. So this is as simple as like that. And another is that hybrid cloud also, like a private and public. Why? Because sometimes for a data, our business high availability, for that you need some kind of DR, disaster recovery. Suppose something happened, so that immediately business should not lose. Okay, immediately uptime should be almost 100%. That's why same thing you have to run on another cloud. So one is in a public, one is in a private cloud. That we call it as a hybrid cloud, so that business continuity can be ensured. And nowadays, that now multi-cloud concept also came. It means that we had to take 2 providers. Suppose in whatever the previous 3 models, only one provider only.
Correct.
But in a multi-cloud model, what will happen? So we have to take one cloud from one vendor or one provider, another cloud for another. So that the advantage is that even though some problem comes in whatever way with one cloud provider, the other cloud provider, and I don't think no 2 clouds will have a disaster in one time. So that's why these are all some kind of a cloud models in deployment sense. And second, in a service level also, suppose you take a service context, again this is a deployment context. Now again cloud you can just touch upon on service model also, service concept also, like a infrastructure as a service. And platform as a service, software as a service, even function also as a service. These are all different services. See, for example, just one, I will very briefly touch upon that. See, infrastructure as a service means that the provider provide whatever you ask for, how much of computing computing device is required, what capacity needed, how much storage needed. Just you tell that. They will freeze it and they will give the empty systems to you. Then you mean that organization has to install their own operating system, install their own software and run that. But only the machines will be given to you. That is a infrastructure as a service. But again for that you need again technical expertise. The second as a platform as a service. Suppose I don't want technical people. So I need some infrastructure and also some kind of software and operating system which are required to run the business. So that also they will provide. Say for example, you have to run your application in Microsoft, I assume that. So that they will provide the platform as a Microsoft enabled infrastructure to you. That is, we call it as a platform as a service. And third is that software as a service also. Even you need not require even to develop a software else. If you ask that some license you need that, suppose Microsoft, otherwise we have to buy the licenses. Correct? But if you take software as a service, you need not. Even you can see see that how many licenses you need, pay for it, and that we call it as a software as a service.
SCAS.
And another is that suppose function as a service also. Suppose for example you are a developer, assume that you are doing some innovative thing. So you developed your own code in your laptop or a desktop at your home, assume that. But which requires high computing power to execute. So your device not required. But you have written some thousands of lines of code. In such case, for such a period, again you can hire the small time for that to execute. That we call it as a function as service. So these are some of the, in the context of a service, the cloud is also like that.
Achha, cloud will provide all these services.
Yeah. So that's why we had to keep it in mind that what you need. Everything is available and only pay for it. You need not pay initially, pay for it.
The industries may not be experts in that area, so that they can hire that services from the other.
How technology you are strong, your organization, accordingly you have to hire either platform as a service or infrastructure as a service or software as a service. This is up to you. Now touching upon that, how the cloud computing uses or facilitates or improve in supply chain management. Now I am coming to that. See, for example, whatever technology we are using, whether cloud or any other, so the basic life cycle is common.
Right.
Correct? One is planning, then procure, then manufacture, then logistics, and so on. Correct? Suppose, see, for all these things, as I told you that once it is in a modern age of supply chain management, data is a critical. So with this kind of cloud computing, where you can have a good amount of computing space, and storage space also. Then you can analyze, say for example, demand forecasting to be done. Assume that. Then how demand forecasting comes, that earlier, without technology, is very difficult. Sometimes huge products will be manufactured, but there is no use. So that huge investment loss, and again maybe destruction is also there. But here, by seeing the past data, it is to be analyzed. That it analyzed. But for analyzing, so huge computing space is required. So the cloud has a high capacity computing devices are available, so that the data can be processed and see the insights. Then plan accordingly. The planning is really very, very important, because this is a base for the entire supply chain management. So we have to see that what is the demand, how much is the demand, who are the based on demands, what type of suppliers you need, whether you have a suppliers available or not, who are provide raw material, then after manufacturing units, then logistics like a transportation available, like that. These are all, that with demand forecasting, you can regulate, you can alert all rest of the processes, and so that there is a risk management is also there. So like that, if you use a cloud exclusively for the data, for data purpose, data will be analyzed based on the analysis. For analysis, and first data, it is to be huge storage is required. The cloud is the answer. Then after you have to process the data. Further, huge computing, high-end computing space is required. For that, the cloud is the answer. And after analysis, analytics will come there. Then analytics, then you have to convert it into data intelligence, and it is applicable to from the planning to up to delivery. So really, the cloud computing is very extensively required in a supply chain management for effective visualization. And transparency. Immediately, suppose see that, when you issue some kind of a purchase order, assume that immediately it goes to the customer, it goes to the vendor who has to supply the goods. Then again some alert goes to the manufacturing unit, then alert all the logistics department, and like that. So this is a total background things going to happen. So for that, huge amount of computing and storage resources are required, along with higher bandwidth of internet connectivity. So for that, what a customer satisfaction will be ensured. So cloud computing is one of the best, one of the prominent technology being used in supply chain management for effective processes starts from planning to up to delivery of a product to the customer and in turn to ensure the customer satisfaction.
Right.
I hope.
Yeah,
I hope.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
I hope
Really,
you.
yeah. No, it's really very good. You are giving perfectly. I think students they might have be seeing, and if you want to ask any questions, you can also ask students. So further, Murali, further I want to ask another one in this lesson. We are going to in this unit we are going to discuss about the Internet of Things, IoT. What is IoT and how IoT is helpful in SEM effectiveness, and what is the main purpose of this IoT?
Yeah, it's also a good question, essential thing. So, even though, as I told you, that many technologies are available being used in supply chain management. So, one is the prominent technology as cloud computing, where cloud computing mainly for data processing, and then processing to analysis to analytics and intelligence. Okay, for that huge computing space, computing and storage space is needed. That is for a cloud computing. Now, the next question I think is also very important. The prominent technology, the Internet of Things. See, when we talk about Internet of Things, the word itself has some kind of inside meaning, correct? Internet of Things is that it is a system of vast network of smart physical devices, connected each other in the network, then collect the data, then after that share the data. To where? To some kind of a centralized IT platform. Okay, that generally if you talk about in a very precisely what is an IoT means that this, just I will repeat for the consumption of maybe your students or for you. See, it is a system of vast vast connectivity of smart physical devices. Connect each other.
Like that?
I will tell you, connect each other. Okay, connect each other. For what? To collect the data. For what? To share the data. To where? To a centralized location to process further. See, in Internet of Things, each device, depending on the functionality of a device, which is having inbuilt or embedded with some kind of a sensors. And some kind of a Wi-Fi also, means that data for a transmission. See, more or less, each device has some kind of sensor, so that it senses. See, for example, I will tell you, as we are saying that in a supply chain management, assume that. So, the IoT of this functionality can be used for a, the store management or a warehouse management. So, the sensors are there. Okay, because when we are using, as I told you that in modern age of supply chain management, everything is at micro level distinguished. Whether as a single product or group of products. Suppose a single laptop, it will also signify that, or suppose a box of 100 laptops, so box also will be signified. So, like the one small example in a supply chain management is that, especially for a management of what we call the warehouse. See, for example, and again I am telling that some kind of a the weather condition also. Suppose certain goods require. Suppose that in supply chain management, suppose the organization, for example, organization is suppose delivering some kind of cold products. So for that, the temperature maintenance is needed. So that sensor sense thermostats. So thermostats, okay, it will sense. Suppose assume that for these items for suppose 10 degrees to be maintained. So the thermostats will sense the temperature and send the alert to the central unit where that central platform, IT platform, there they will immediately, suppose some alert is also will be there, immediately they can see that if temperature is rising, so takes necessary precautions. So like that, there are so many innumerous number of examples you can talk about IoT in this. Okay. So mainly to the best of my knowledge, so mainly this supply chain, this IoT in supply chain management, mainly if effectively used in logistics. The delivery of the product, mostly. Mainly the logistics means that that logistics from the warehouse to end user. That's the customer. Correct. So that, so by seeing the focusing, as I told you that these are all a number of physical devices, physical smart devices. Smart in the sense that which can react, which can respond, which can do something. Okay.
Collect and then
which is not a smart device, it is just like a static. Okay. But smart device is that if I am looking at you, I will capture your feeling, I will capture what you are talking, your body language, everything. Like that, if suppose in a godown or maybe in a warehouse, so the devices are there that will capture. Correct. So that based on that, see what is the level of what is the available of quantity. Starts from that. Then after that, for example, so even for nowadays, I told you that the autonomous vehicles are there. Even the robotics also there for automation. So that the technology-driven warehouses are also smart. They may use the smart shelves. Okay, so that the what we call the robot will go directly and pick up that and again put it in the vehicle. Correct. And everything is some kind of tag. Tag itself is a signifier that what it contains, like some kind of QR code kind of thing. Then after that, it will load it into the say vehicle. Okay, truck. Again, truck is also having some kind of smart device. So that the customer or the organization or whoever may be involved from that go down or a warehouse to the delivery of a customer could be a distributor, could be a retailer, then after that a customer. So depending on the emergency, directly the go down to directly to the customer. Otherwise, here to then distributor, retailer like that. So, but how it will thing cannot go just like that. So through some kind of a trucks or something, the truck has some identity, so that even the organization can also see that suppose the delivery to be done after 30, suppose 100 kilometers or suppose say for a large assume that 1,000 kilometers. Assume that. So then I think we are all using we are customers of e-commerce like Amazon or something. When you deliver when you order some product, email some SMS comes to you, they will say that product will be delivered maybe next 2-3 days. Assume that. Sometimes what will happen if it is a delay, then they will again send another message that saying that delay happened because of this. Otherwise, sometimes early is coming that also SMS comes that so delivery we are going to do deliver prior to the whatever due date. So these are all like that. Trucks also. Now when it is traveling on road, whatever mode of transport you are using that, so it will, because it has a sensor, it has a Wi-Fi, so that the truck information also can pass on to the all the devices wherever connected, and finally to the central IT hub or IT platform. There then again connect. Then the software is like for SMS. So SMS to suppose first it has to reach to the say for example. Who are distributors, so message goes to distributor, hi, the product is about to come, truck is almost 100 kilometers away, or by 10 o'clock tonight we are reaching, or above it is to be go to the retailer, again same thing, even customer also. Such a prominent transparency is there, so that it is always whoever may be the stakeholders responsible or involved in successful delivery of a product, everyone is known to that. What is the status? That is it is possible with the help of IoT, internet, because every device is having, I told you that smart device. Means that some kind of sensor, some kind of communicating thing, then it will be. Okay. So like that, mostly I will tell you that, IoT mainly used in for a logistics purpose. IoT.
Okay. Finding out the materials wherever it is, while it is traveling, or if it is cold chain. So in the cold chain, the temperature measurement also, we can see that.
Yeah,
so
that's
we can maintain throughout
while suppose some cold goods you are suppose you're transporting. So again,
Milk,
the
curd,
sensor in that cold box, whatever material is there, it will again also send information that what is the temperature within that box. Then accordingly, suppose for example, assume that they might have some kind of alternative arrangements also. Something goes down.
If it is,
Okay. Correct. Otherwise, some other container will go and immediately shift. Otherwise, the product damage is heavier than. So these are all, that's why I'm telling risk mitigation. Especially in a logistics assume that when a delivery time from go down or whatever, so they up to the end user, depending on the sensitivity of the product. There is a risk management. So especially IoT, because IoT gives that real time information. Correct. Real time. Right. So that immediately the risk can be mitigated.
If any problem occurs also, there nearby warehouses or nearby transporters are there, that will go to them and they may come there and they can change. So that is the use of.
So that's why IoT is very, very, especially in a supply chain management, in particular the logistics part.
So that is IoTs. Sensor is nothing but sensing of information and giving the information.
But the question is that it will sense. But so sensing cannot be done. That's why it will collect the data, first connect to the network, collect the data, then share the data to where to the central IT hub, wherever it is that they will process, then they will analyze, then analytics, then intelligence, then alert the concerned departments. So for that it is high computing is, that's why cloud computing is behind. For IoT, cloud computing model is behind. So more or less the IoT is some kind of application part come into the picture, but the processing and everything requires a high-end computing. So for that, that's why the cloud and IoT are, but it is a back-end. Cloud computing, the cloud sits at back in the supply chain management. So mainly so effective delivery, effective information, effective communication. Either in some risk can be mitigated on time, so that reduce the loss. If you reduce the loss, and also one more I am telling that. So optimize the routes also.
Route optimization.
That is very good. And one of the thing is that like we are using that Google Maps. Correct that. Correct. Earlier it gives a some optimal route among so many routes. Similarly, here also, for example, a truck is going with a full of material. Assume that suppose that road has some issue. Assume that immediately it will alert the direct driver. Don't go like this. Divert the route. So that optimal routing. When optimal routing is that on-time delivery or even early delivery, so that operational costs will be drastically reduced. And whatever when you convert into economics, then ultimately who is the beneficiary? The customer is the beneficiary. If customer gets some good quality product with a less cost than expected, then customer satisfaction increases a lot. When customer satisfaction increases a lot, the demand will be increased, and the organization is in a good in a good position. So I think that's why it is I would, because these are all technical things. Maybe some other session, if time permits, we can exclusively talk on a particular technology, maybe a cloud or this. I think for this session, I think this is quite sufficient. I hope so about IoT.
IoTs.
Hope I think you I think you are satisfying for the answers or explanations which I am giving. I hope so.
Very much satisfied.
Maybe your students also. I hope.
Okay. And one more question, Murali. One is, I think, data already you told. So even though how data analytics play a role in effective SCM, are there any specific softwares used in SCM? Data and then softwares.
See, when we are talking about cloud, why? Because see, in a modern age of supply chain management, as I told you earlier, in a modern age of supply chain management, data plays a vital role, huge volume of data. But data alone is no use. Correct? No? But we have to find some insights in the data. Correct? No? So that's why the data analytics will play a vital role. Correct? So the data collected from maybe IoT devices, a huge volume of data, maybe in form of a video, in form of a audio, in terms of some text, in terms of some image. But it is to be, this is more or less we call it as a data. But data to be analyzed. So suppose when in a data analytics, the core is that the beginning is, the data analytics begins from the data. Okay, so huge volume of data is there.
So that is called big data, I think.
See, big data is nothing but it's not a separate technology. See, whenever a huge volume of data is generated, then we call it as a big data. Suppose say we are using a WhatsApp, assume that how many in a day petabytes of data being generated. Correct? Or suppose we're all using social media, petabytes of data. But the data alone cannot be used. But when it is to be properly analyzed. Correct? Say for example, you know that I think we'll talk in different way. So for data analytics, data is a core. So data will be from processes, then planning to up to delivery. So different phases are there. So data being generated by IoT devices or any other device, huge volume of data. The data doesn't have any meaning unless it is analyzed and processed. So that data will be analyzed. That's why we used the data analytics. So before achieving the analytics, before arriving the analytics, data to be analyzed. Data to be analyzed. See, for example, simple example, I will tell you that we two are were WhatsApping each other. Say, Professor Venkat, I want to go next month, maybe 10th to Hyderabad. Just I text that only. I'm not but next time when I open my browser, suddenly some pop-up comes. Hi Murali, I think next month 10th we are going. I think we are going visiting Hyderabad. So these are some flights, cheap flights are available. I didn't search it for anything. It means that so in a WhatsApp, in across the globe, so the millions or billions of users are chatting each other. But if it is a traveling agency, so they will analyze the huge chunk of data, huge volume of what we call it as big data, but they want only for transportation related. Among huge, somebody may talk about matrimony, somebody talks for procurement, whatever it is. But I am a travel related organization. I will analyze, I will extract my only the data and find out the inside that, oh, there is one fellow Murali is there, he is planning to visit next month to Hyderabad. And on 10th, whenever I open my browser, immediately some pop-up comes. That is nothing but the power of data analytics. In SCM, that supply chain management also, because it is a technology driven, where everywhere data is there, correct, in all phases. So data will be analyzed and then analytics. So in data analytics, there are especially some data is there. What happened? Now we call it a descriptive analytics. So suppose for example, see that some cold items are transporting. Assume that suddenly it was got damaged. Okay, then we call in a descriptive analytics. So suddenly somebody, the customer or somebody, sir, I received a damaged product. In such case, it is to be analyzed. What happened? What happened means that product is damaged. That we call it as a descriptive analytics. What is a cause or what happened? First of all, is a prime initially. Why a customer is saying like this? What happened? That we call it as a descriptive analytics. Once it is there, diagnostic analytics will come. For example, see that my product, I received a destructive product. So that is a destructive product. Through descriptive analytics we found. Then the descriptive. After that, the diagnostic analytics. Why it happened? There was some temperature is down. That's why this product has gone. So that's why we call it as a diagnostic analytics. After that, predictive analytics will come. Predictive analytics means that, because of this, it has happened. It might happen. It is going to happen. And after that, prescriptive analytics means that what action to be taken. So these are all in a analytics part. There are four. I told you that descriptive, what happened, and then diagnostic, why it happened, and then predictive analytics. So what is in future, or what to be, what how it happened, or what is to be, and then prescriptive, what is a remedy. That is called that like that. So this is the second part, the outcome of analysis. Then after that, in analytics, next is that then insight. Insight means that what is outcome. That is nothing but some kind of intelligence. Data, analysis, analytics, then intelligence. Intelligence, then you have to take a proper decision.
That supply chain manager has to take.
The decision comes that the product has damaged because of low temperature. Okay, that was the final outcome. Then what is a remedy next time? Next time when we are again doing the same thing, you have to alternative mechanism. When temperature is down, assume that do you have another container maintaining this, or another box containing like this, or immediately any nearby like that. These are all useful for the risk mitigation. Okay, I think this is a data analytics. Okay, data alone cannot do anything. I gave some real-time example also. Okay, and mainly data to be analyzed. Then based the outcome of analysis is the analytics. The analytics will convert into intelligence. Intelligence is nothing but to take a proper appropriate decision not to happen. See, for example, more huge demand is increased that, then what is the decision? Decision is that so immediately alert to more suppliers, then more products is required, then more manufacturing unit, more hours to be worked, more product like that. So whatever a context it is, okay, the data analytics, because in a modern age of the supply chain analytics, because these are all process technology driven. Okay, so that's why informed decisions will be taken at right time.
Okay. Even in the machine, if any manufacturing shops also, some machines will break down. Before breakdown, we can predict by doing this predictive analytics.
That's one of the performance, whether it is that's one, whatever in a total life cycle of supply chain management, there are various actors are there. So those actors, they find the health chart. Even a driver who is driving the truck also can check up the health check of our driver also.
Nowadays.
And the vehicle performance also. So then immediately some kind of
even sometimes petrol. Your petrol it is not available. Is there any nearby petrol pump?
Like that. Okay. But in a supply chain management before the modern age, manual. So there is mostly it is a reactive approach. See. In one more point, we can tell that in supply chain management without technology is a reactive approach. Something goes wrong. Something goes wrong, something goes good also. It is a reactive approach because that time there is no time for it. Whatever damage happened. But in the modern age of supply chain management, where the technology centric, so there is a proactive measures and preventive measures. So that is the beauty of technology in utilizing
efficient
that is I hope it is clear.
It's clear. We have another 7 minutes, so Murali, we can wrap up now. So one more question is there. So what are the various issues and challenges if we adopt technology in SCM from the point of manufacturers or from the point of suppliers or customers? So how this technology will helpful? Maximum, I think maybe it may be helpful for the manufacturers as well as the transporters or warehouse owners like that.
See, technology has I told you that, whatever a numerous number of advantages are with technology, there are limitations or drawbacks also with the technology. Okay, see, just for example, assume that we are talking, I hope, now we are talking that, okay, then how many people are back end working that? It is disseminating to your student, assume that.
Correct.
Similarly, technology also. Okay, so one is that, integration of legacy systems. Legacy systems means that suppose you have some system, already some systems are running that, assume that. But to for a compatibility problems comes that. That's a problem. And another is that in a supply chain management, the internet, network connectivity is one of the major things. If internet is not there, nothing is there. So that's why I always ensure that high bandwidth internet connectivity. But you know that when a metros or a nearby metros or maybe up to district level, internet is okay. But still, for example, still maybe if you go a bit beyond or maybe remote places, the internet availability or bandwidth is somehow not that. So that's why that time what will happen, these are all some kind of delay happens and problem. That's why one is that if technology means that totally dependency on the network. High bandwidth is required, well connected is required, and skilled human resource is also required. And another security also. Even though in a positive side we talk about security, all this technology provides security. But at the same time, still, security is again is a major question. Why? Because in a simple thumb rule, I will tell you that any device connected to the internet is nothing but driving a vehicle on a highway. What it means, if you're driving a vehicle, you are driving a car on a highway means that prone to accident. It doesn't mean that every time accident happens, but prone to accident. Similarly, any device connected to the net, prone to hack. Doesn't mean that it will hack, but prone to hack. Suppose even though, for example, your device is connected but not in you, is nothing but parking your vehicle on a highway. So these are all, we have to keep it running. That's why security is a continuous process, not a one-time thing, but always what we say that, security is a major concern. Even though a lot of technology like a blockchain and many other technologies are coming that, but because, if another is that if you provide a security through software, again another software is there to break the security. So one of these major is a security is a threat, security because in an automated environment some problem comes that then you can't imagine. Okay, the destruction, the almost collapse. So for that again some kind of redundant system is also needed. Correct. No. So this is and also whenever technology is changing, that migration is a problem. Correct, no? So, and human also that change management is also another management. Suppose I am comfortable with this technology, I don't want to, then making a person to adopt that also. These are all some of the issues and challenges with the technology. But anyway, when we talk about the positiveness, when the advantages of the technology, I think these are all minimal only because there are all proven technologies and lot of redundant systems are there. I don't think we'll afraid, but at the same time, we have to have some kind of redundant systems also. When something goes wrong, immediately with a less time, so business continue to be again started. So when it is possible, have some kind of redundancy, like a disaster system. When some disaster happened, we call it as a DR sites. Okay, disaster recovery sites. So I think these are all some of the limitations of the technology, but the technology is changing time to time because see, no technology is perfect. Okay, always scope for space for a improvement. Suppose now we are in a 5G. Almost latency is 0 or less than millisecond. Now, when we are in the era of 5G, we are talking some 4G is a waste. But in the era of 4G, 3G is a waste. In the era of 3G, 2G is a waste. Maybe now, when our government of India also working and others also working on even 6G also. Main thing is improvement, continuously improvement. So that's why but we have to be ready for it. Okay, we have to change.
Then only the companies will in the competition. They can adapting and then supplying the goods to the customers in time. So these are all comes under by using. So the supply chain, in the supply chain management, different technologies are using. So by using the technologies, the supply chain efficiency has to be improved. So to improve that supply chain efficiency, then technologies plays vital role, Murali.
So I'll tell just some 30 seconds. I'll tell. So apart from what we talked about, the cloud and the IoT, still there are now A and ML is also artificial intelligence and machine learning also, and the robotics is also coming to that. And on top of it now green logistics also we had to talk about. Maybe nowadays, I think sometime we can talk about to protect the environment, to address the environmental issues and challenges. So green logistics is also very much important. So that is some futuristic things in supply chain management. I hope that most of the companies, organizations may follow, I think, green logistics also in future. So as a conclusion, I think technology is ultimate, no doubt about it, especially for a repetitive process. Technology is very good for a repetitive processes. But to make dynamic process also, then the artificial intelligence and machine learning also came into the picture. Even not only even a repetitive, even dynamic also. I think I addressed all your questions. I hope so.
Right, Murali.
Hope you're satisfied or maybe with your students also.
No, I am very much satisfied. You have given a perfect answers for all my queries. Thank you very much. So with this, here I conclude our session. Thank you very much.